All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhagavati Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya. Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 9, text number 2. Savai barhishi devebhyo bhagam pratyaksham uchchakai adadadda yasya pitaro deva samprashrayam nupaha savai barhishi devebhyo bhagam pratyaksham uchchakai adadadda yasya pitaro deva samprashrayam nupa savai barhishi devebhyo bhagam pratyaksham uchchakai adadad yasya pitaro deva samprashrayam rupa savai barhishi devebhyo bhagam pratyaksham uchchakai adadad yasya pitaro deva saprasayam nripa savai barhishi devebhyo bhagam pratyaksham uchchakai adadad yasya pitaro deva saprasayam nripa sa he Vishwarup why indeed barhishi in the sacrificial fire devebhya unto the particular demigods bhagam the proper share pratyaksham visibly uchchakai by loud chanting of the mantras adadat offered yasya of whom? Pitaraye, the fathers. Devaha, demigods. Saprashrayam, very humbly in a gentle voice. Nripa, O King Parishit. Translation. O Maharaj Parishit, the demigods were related to Vishnu from his father's side, and therefore he visibly offered clarified butter in the fire while chanting mantras such as Indraya, Idam Swaha. This is meant for King Indra and Idam Agnaye. This is for the demigods of fire. He loudly chanted these mantras and offered each of the demigods his proper share. Next verse. Sa eva hi dadao bhagam paroksham asuran prati yajamano vahat bhagam matrusneha vashanuga. Although offering clarified butter in the sacrificial fire in the name of the demigods, without the knowledge of the demigods, he also offered oblations to the demons because they were his relatives through his mother. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Because of Vishwarup's affection for families of both the demigods and the demons, he appeased the Supreme Lord on behalf of both dynasties. When he offered oblations in the fire on behalf of the Asuras, he did so secretly, without the knowledge of the demigods. What should we do? Should we take more verses? Tad deva helanam tasya dharmalikam sureshwaraha alasya tarasa vitastach shirshanya chinnadat rusha. Once upon a time, however, the king of heaven Indra understood that Vishwarupa was secretly cheating the demigods by offering oblations on behalf of the demons. He became extremely afraid of being defeated by the demons and in great anger at Vishwarupa. He cut Vishwarupa's 3 heads from his shoulders. Somapitham tu yat tasya shira asit kapinjalaha kalavinga surapitham annadam yat satittirihi. Thereafter, the head meant for drinking somarasa was transformed into kapinjala, francolin patronage. Similarly, the head meant for drinking wine was transformed into kalavinka, sparrow, and the head meant for eating food became tittiri, common partridge. Brahmahatyam anjalinam jagraha yadapishvara samvatsarante dadatam bhutanam sa vishuddhaye bhumyambu druma yoshidbhya Chaturdha Vyabhajathari. Although Indra was so powerful that he could neutralize the sinful reactions for killing a Brahmana, he repeatedly accepted burden of these reactions. With folded hands. He suffered for 1 year and then to purify himself, he distributed the reactions for this sinful killing among the earth, water, trees and women. Bhumisturiyam jagraha Khatapura Varenavai Irinam Brahmahatyaya Rupam Bhumo Pradushyate. In return for King Indra's benediction that ditches in the earth would be filled automatically, the land accepted 1/4 of the sinful reactions for killing a Brahmana. Because of those sinful reactions, we find many deserts on the surface of the earth. Purport: because the deserts are manifestation of Earth's diseased condition, no auspicious ritualistic ceremonies can be performed in a desert. Persons destined to live in desert are understood to be sharing the reactions for the sin of a Brahmahatya, the killing of a Brahmana. Okay, so we'll discuss. Om Ajnanatimmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Ena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Ena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Shri Utaha Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijanasahitam Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsya Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatadeshtarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratvishe Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Nilachala Nivasaya Nityaya Paramatmane Balabhadra Subhadrabhyam Jagannathaya Te Namah Vanja Kalpatarubhasya Kripa Sindhubhye Vacha Patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we are reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 9, text number 2 to 7. The king of the heaven, Indra, when he came to know that Vishwarup, who was appointed by demigods as their priest, his guru, to perform sacrifice in order to get protection, so that, and also empowerment, so that they can defeat demons. So this Vishwarup was son of a demigod Twasta. And he was a very qualified person, Brahmana, with 3 heads. So he was appointed and he was doing yajña for demigods, offering oblations. Yajña means to Lord, please Lord Viṣṇu and his representatives in the universal administration, demigods, various important demigods. So while offering oblations, so they are offered to different demigods, and also they are offered on behalf of the people who are performing the yajña. And so that ultimately the Lord is pleased. The purpose of yajña is to please Lord Viṣṇu and to receive his mercy, blessings. Bhoktaram yajña tapasam. So here is mentioned that because of Vishwarup's affection for the families of both demigods and the demons, he appeased the Supreme Lord on behalf of both the dynasties. So his mother was from the Asura side, Asura dynasty, and his father was from the demigods, Devatas. So he had affection for both parties. But he knew that because demigods had appointed him, they will not be happy if he does directly offering. So he was doing secretly. For demigods he was offering with loud voice, and for the demons he was offering in a very low voice, so that nobody could understand. But then somehow other Indra understood it. Secretly he was chanting. They are offering oblations. So he became extremely afraid of being defeated by the demons. So he, out of fear, he killed him. Fear and anger, both. And it's mentioned that how these 3 heads, they transform into different words. But here you can understand how this material world One is entangled. If we are afraid of losing our material positions, powers, or sense gratification, then that fear can lead to any kinds of sinful activities. As it happened here that Indra, he killed then the Brahmana, and then he had to suffer for that. So it's a complex place always. He had reasons why he killed that, because he was cheating. Still he got the reaction. Krishna says that karmano hepi bodhavyam jivi karmana. Akarmanascha bodhavyam gahana karmano gati. To understand what is karma and what is vikarma and what is akarma, it's very, very difficult. Gahana karmano gati, because it's very subtle. In an impure mind, one performs some karma and he may not understand if it is vikarma. Because that's why everybody thinks I am doing good in this world. Nobody sees his faults. Because everybody has some reasons, justifications for doing things. But unless one is introspective to see what was my exact intention at that time, that is what reaction will be determined. It's not just external activity. What was I was driven by anger or greed or lust or pride or envy. Usually we do it and later on we try to justify it. But actually I did because of these reasons. Because he's not able to see internally what is the consciousness at that time. And then they want to be politically right or what you call socially right or logically right. And you can justify it. But he was at fault. That person was at fault. Actually, I did this for this great cause. I was thinking about welfare of everybody. So all this reasoning comes later. One professor of IIT was saying, a very senior professor, he said, I have seen the first comes the desires of the people, and then comes the scientific explanations or explanations. Reasoning comes later. Somebody want to do something out of greed or envy or lust. They like to do something or they dislike something, and then they have to justify their actions. Why did they do this? They cannot say I did it out of greed, lust, then it will be criticized. Right? So much egoistic fights keep on happening. People have their false egos and they have their envy towards others, and then they have their greed, hatred towards each other. And this is not counted in science at all. In scientific field, there is no measurement how much this person is greedy. There is no instrument to detect it. How much person is lusty, how much person is envious. So there is no any recognition for these things in science. Something you can prove it with the science. What are the intention of person is not counted only. All these big corporates, they want to do something to get profit out of it. And then they asked some scientist, okay, you prove this or you do this research and give us this data and give us these statistics because we want to do these things. There's one scientist was saying that in a TEDx, I saw once video, there he was saying, Sometimes they do out of ignorance, and their research work is being used by the people who are quite in knowledge. Knowledge, I'm saying that they know what they are doing. You know, they are using somebody's. So he said, I was earlier thinking that based on his data, research work, because this was speculative thing, speculation. So he was doing some research work on the environment and analyzing things. So his analysis, he came to the conclusion that if these herbivorous animals were eating grass or plants like cows or the elephants or deers, they're all, if they are not, their number is not controlled, then the whole earth will become deserted if they keep on eating grass. If they keep on eating grass, then the earth will become barren and deserted. That was his conclusion of whatever data he was collecting. It happens quite in science like that. The bubonic plague happened, and they did some research work and they find out why it is the cause. And their research showed that the cats are causing the plague. And they killed all the cats in the European countries wherever plague was there. And then later on they understood that no, it was not cat, it was a rat. The Anuman is also always like that, speculation. You see something and then you come to some conclusion. Or your senses observe some things. Guesswork. Earlier, the science thought that these pituitary glands in your body, they're useless because they were doing study of different ages people, or different people, not ages. And most of their research just saw that this gland has no use in the body. So they declared it is useless gland because it is not having any function to do in body. And that's how they concluded also this. That shows that there is no creator, because if creator was there, why this useless gland in the body has been made. But in their later research they found out these pituitary glands are active only at a very short period in one's life. And they decide the most of the important function in your body while body is growing. And then they understood, oh, these are so important glands, they are master glands. Because when they were doing research, they were doing probably for the people of certain ages, and then they saw it not active. But that particular age, out of 100 years, it may be like few months or few weeks, I don't know. To get a person of that, where the gland is active, that didn't do it. And the guesswork was it useless. So like that, so many things have been observed in the science, has been guesswork things, which has been proven later on not right, correct. So that's the one thing, that they so much depend on their data and they think that whatever data they have collected is ultimate oftentimes. And then their intentions. So this scientist was in ignorance himself. He said this, I was in ignorance. Whatever data I collected, based on that I concluded this. And then my research was funded by the government, the African government. They became interested. How you are doing this research, we want some papers. So they funded him for. He published it whatever you are saying. And then he published those things, whatever he had done research, that if cattle grazing continues and if you don't control the numbers, then the whole earth will become deserted. And they used this research to kill thousands of elephants in the African forest because they wanted to kill, to get ivory and everything. So they wanted some reasoning for it. Somebody has to support their research. Oh, we did it for a very noble cause. We wanted to stop deserting. But actual purpose was to get this elephant out of them. The main thing is ivory and maybe other things by killing so many elephants. And they did that. Thousands of elephants were killed. After that, he did further research and he found out actually it's reverse. The cattle grazing will stop the deserting. It's the opposite. We saw whatever reasoning he gave later on. Their being on earth is very important because they, especially cows, they actually make the land fertile. Like in our Avai ashram, when we did the rice plantation last year, we took the rice 4.5 acres. So we decided that we'll not use any fertilizers and any pesticides. And many our devotees working there, how is possible? We cannot get, everybody is using pesticides and fertilizers. Crops will not come. They were not convinced. The villagers also were staying around. And we thought, let us not use, and if you have to use, we will use only the organic fertilizers. Because these chemical fertilizers are so deadly nowadays. They can give you good yield, but cause so much of damage for the health. But somehow other, we didn't have much time to use the organic fertilizers also, right? It happened. We didn't have much time to make that, whatever fertilizer was necessary. So we just maybe little bit put, but it was not much quantity, sufficient what was supposed to be. But somehow there are, the yield came very good and the growth also was very good. The villagers also were commenting, how your rice is growing so nice. And we were also surprised. Then later on Braj Kamarpur told me that actually it was because for last 8-10 years this land was not used. Only grass was growing there. In rainy season huge grass now also grows. And many villagers were sending their cows for grazing there. Because the cows were grazing for last 8-10 years, the land has become so fertile. So without using the fertilizers, the natural fertility is there.
They are dropping dung also.
Huh?
Animals are dropping the dung also in the field.
Yes, because of that only, yes. Cows are grazing, they drop the drunks and the cow urine, which is considered a very powerful fertilizer. So this man also did research like this only, said the cow, these animals, they pass their cow, their dung, and that makes the land fertile. And he said that was earlier was my biggest blunder I did in my life, and how it was misused. Similarly, Einstein did some research, and the American government told him that you tell us, because otherwise the Germany will use it, and we will just keep it. They will misuse it. They said, you give it this, we'll rightly use it. Right? It happened like that. I heard. I heard from somewhere that they asked him that, he said, if you don't give us, it may be misused, something like that. And they only misused it by creating atom bomb based on Einstein's research work. So, if people's intentions are not proper, they are bound to misuse the powers. And they can always give justifications. Oh, we did it for the right cause. But there are higher authorities who detect exact what was your intention, what was your, at that time, what you were thinking. And that's why this Gahana Karmanogati means unless a person is very, very honest and very introspective, one will not be able to understand how this karma works. Oftentimes people say, oh, I am good, I did not do anything. I am doing nice things. Why am I having troubles in my life? Because they are not able to see how they are acting also out of greed or envy or lust, pride. Or they are attached to particular things and based to protect those things. Out of fear they are acting, out of anger they are acting. Because they are so much of driven by external things. And everybody thinks I am good. So their mind cheats them, or their intelligence and false ego that cheats. They don't understand. You always put blame on others, blame on situations, and one doesn't see what are my actual purpose at that time, what is my intention. Introspective person can see it very clearly. Oh, I did it for a wrong cause. Even the other people have understood like this, but my actual intention was like this. Then at least he repents for it. But otherwise, one just justify everything. Justification is the cause of all troubles in our lives. If we are able to at least recognize and repent for it, then one can be saved from the reactions. Otherwise, the reactions will come. Every criminal in the jail doesn't agree what he has done is wrong, right? But the judge sees and he gives the punishment. But you go into jail and ask, everybody will say that I was right. That's the nature of this false ego. One is not able to see one's own fault. One always sees the faults of others. And when the reaction comes, then they become more upset, more angry. But great sages or great devotees, they are very introspective. Like Parikshit Maharaj, when he came back from the forest, he was introspective. Now, I put this snake around this stage, a snake, thinking that he was pretending. I wanted water. I was so thirsty. And this person did not even welcome me. And I thought he was just making a show of meditation. But was he making show or was he in real meditation? He might be in real meditation. I misunderstood it because I was carried away by thirst. I was angry. So I misjudged it. Might have must misjudge it. And if he was really in meditation, then I have created a great mistake. He understood that. At that time he could not, because he was very much driven by the thirst and hunger. He was angry. That was Lord's arrangement, of course. But as he came to the palace, he was introspective. Why I acted like this? And he was also trying to understand the situation. And then he realized that actually I did a mistake. And immediately started praying to the Lord. If I have done some mistake, because of me nobody suffers. Because I am a king. Actually, kings commit some mistake, the entire praja will suffer because of that. So he took the whole responsibility and he prayed to the Lord. Let nobody suffer because of me. If some reaction has to come, let it come on me. And when he got the news from Shamik Rishi's messenger that he has been cursed by his son, Shringi, Parikshit actually did not become disturbed. He just accepted it because he was already prepared for it. So that he was not disturbed at all. So that's how the devotees of the Lord, even if they commit some mistakes, because they are very introspective, they are already prepared for it. A Brahmana actually need not be punished also. It is said that the true Brahmana, he is so introspective, immediately he understands and he takes the measures to purify his heart himself. So therefore he need not be punished. Punishment is required for rectifications. But one who is introspective, if he at all commits some mistakes, he himself immediately take remedies for purification. So therefore he need not be punished. But those who are not able to understand, they always justify, or they don't understand that how, then they need to be punished to understand their mistakes. One is not able to understand, like a criminal cannot understand what happens by harming others. Like somebody is a murderer, he cannot understand. Otherwise, how he murders. So when he is hanged, then he may understand. Again, the people who are very egoistic, they cannot understand also. But there is a chance of after he is punished, he may understand his mistake. At least he is saved from the future punishments. Otherwise, Srila Prabhupada writes that a murderer is not even capital punishment. Then he will go on killing more people. One thing in this life. And second is that so many killings will have to suffer in future, so many births of killing. But when a king is punishing him, that his future life at least becomes clean. He doesn't have to suffer. And this process of punishment also can rectify his hearts, so that he gives up this tendency of killing. Both things. It's for actually mercy on the person. Those who are too attached to enjoy material world, even if they are punished or they undergo prayaschitta, they don't really transform their hearts. And therefore they keep on repeatedly doing things. And the other processes in this world, prayashchittas, given in the even Vedas, especially in the Karma Kandi section, unless they practice bhakti, all these procedures will also not help a person. Prayashchittam athokatam. Prayashchittam athokatam. What is the use of prayashchitta if there is no rectification happening? Parishad Maharaj later, I think in the beginning of this canto, many Shukadeva Goswami told about how people can be saved from the going to the hell. The process of prayashchitta. Parishad Maharaj said this. Drushtashrutabhyam yat papam jananya hi api atmanohitam karotu bhuya vivasha prayashchitam atokatam. One may know that sinful activity is injurious for him because he actually sees that a criminal is punished by the government and rebuked by the people in general, and because he hears from the scriptures and learned scholars that one is thrown into hellish conditions in the next life for committing sinful acts. Nevertheless, in spite of such knowledge, one is forced to commit sins again and again, even after performing acts of atonement. Therefore, what is the use of value of such atonements? Kochit nivartate bhadrad kochit charati tat punha prayashittam athopartham manya kunjara shauchivat. Sometimes one who is very alert so as not to commit sinful acts is victimized by sinful life again. I therefore consider this process of repeated sinning and atoning to be useless. It is like the bathing of an elephant, for an elephant cleanses itself by taking a full bath, but then throws dust over its head and body as soon as it returns to the land. Then the Shukadeva Goswami gives a process of bhakti. After this is spoken by Parishit Maharaj. Initially spoke about this prayashchitta. But then when Parishit Maharaj rejected this process of prayashchittam, then he speaks about Jnana Marga and then finally Bhakti Marga. Ultimately, Jnana also even cannot, but Bhakti, Kechit Kevalaya Bhaktya, Vasudeva Parayana, Agam Dhunmanti Karstena Niharini Bhaskar. So here Indra got the reaction because he acted out of fear and anger and killed him. And then he wanted to now get rid of this. So he underwent this suffering, punishment or the prayashchitta. But again you will find after some time again he did the same thing. He killed his brother also, Dhritarashtra. Therefore, he understood that he is a very exalted person. He is not just the Asura, he is a Vaishnava. And Indra was thinking, oh, what should I do? Should I kill him? Some demigods came and told him, no, you kill him now because if you don't kill him, he'll kill everybody. And don't worry, we'll perform later on some yajña to neutralize the reactions. So now that became a seventh offense. That knowingly did. Now here though out of anger, but there though knowing that it is not good, still he did it. With thinking that I will purify it. Purify by chanting or purify by yajña. So that became a seventh offense and Indra had to again suffer that time also. More severely than not here also. So this material world is very, very difficult place. It's very, very complex. Karma is when we have this fruitive mentality or enjoying mentality. But if we transform that into bhakti, devotional service to serve, then things becomes very simple. As long as we have a lording over tendency, we want to lord over people with material nature. We want to be enjoyer, or we want to become controller for our own enjoyment. Then this envy will continue, greed will continue, lust will continue. But if you develop desire to serve genuinely to Krishna and Vaishnavas without any expectations, one will find the life becomes very simple. Bhakti is very simple, not complicated at all. We make it very complex. And we get entangled into this fruitive mentality is increases, then everything looks very, very difficult. All complexities come because of this tendency that we want to lord over, we want to be enjoyer, we want to be controller, we want to be the proprietor. That's why Krishna says that you are not the proprietor. You are not even entitled for your fruits of your actions. Karmanyeva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. But in this world we want proprietorship. Why? Because legally when you are a proprietor you are entitled for all the fruits. Government says you are the enjoyer. You give some taxes and you are the enjoyer of all your fruits. But Krishna says, no, you are not at all entitled to all the fruits of your actions. Karmanyeva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. All the fruits belong to me because I am the real proprietor. And these people in this world who steal the properties of God and create their own laws. Okay, legally you are a proprietor, then you are entitled for enjoyment of the fruits. And there is no God. So this world is pumping our false egos that you are the enjoyer, you are the great, you are the... Although they are enemies of each other. Prabhupada was saying in 1966 lecture, he said, if anybody is given this proprietorship, he can turn sand into gold. Sand into gold. They say like that. So this consciousness of I am the proprietor. Even though you get proprietorship in this world, you should understand I am not the proprietor. That's what the Shastras say. I am a servant. If I am getting enthusiasm because I am proprietor of doing some things, and I don't have any enthusiasm when I am not proprietor, that means we are acting based on same fruity mentality. To see that Krishna is proprietor of everything, I just act as a servant. And that's what the whole Vedic training is. To depend on Krishna. Nothing belongs to me. The Brahmana, slowly one come to the Brahmanical understanding means he depends on the Lord. The Brahmanas would not even take a job also. Not any business also. They neither hold any property also. They just depend on Krishna for the charity. Let it come from Krishna. Because that's actual reality. If you align yourself to live with that, then you can be very peaceful, joyful. But not everybody is on that level. So there is a training. Training with the, like if you are thinking you are a businessman, a Kshatriya, then you have to give charity. If something is coming to you, it's not yours property. Not only taxes to government, but you have to also give charity. The charity giving will help us to realize that things don't belong to me. It's belonging to Krishna. Tyagat Shanti Manantaram. If you by sacrificing the results, the whole purpose of sacrifice also is same. When you are doing oblations, you say it. Idam Indraya. That day we were chanting these mantras. And our fire sacrifice were performed. Idam Narayanaya. Idam Namama. This is not mine. People chant, but they don't care for it. Just ritualistic people chant. Everything is belonging to Narayan. Nothing is belonging to me. Swaha. But when you are actually performing activities with consciousness, yes, slowly then you will realize it. Nothing belongs to me. Ishavasimidam sarva. Yat kinchim jagatyam jagat. But you think that because I am a proprietor, I am the doer of my activities, I am the fully enjoyers, then we get entangled in this material world. Then we will be always fearful, or we are envious of somebody, greedy, envy, all these things will continue. But bhakti means to realize actual facts and understand that Krishna loves everyone. Krishna is my supreme well-wisher. And those who are not accepting Krishna or devotional service, then they have to accept at least the demigods. Devatas are there. Nowadays, modern man doesn't recognize anybody. By creating all this atheistic theory, they are suffering more and more. It is exactly like the greedy business people. They don't want to pay any taxes to the government. Similarly, modern man doesn't want to pay any tax to the demigods. Who is doing any yajñas? That's the main thing in Vedic culture, to understand that there is universal administration. Not only pay tax to the king, but the king also would pay tax to the universal government. But again, that is also very complex, because there are so many rules and regulations when you are wanting to enjoy this world, even with the legal ways. But if you understand everything is belonging to Krishna, let everything should be utilized in Krishna's service. And let me just accept prasadam. whatever Krishna gives in return. Then the life becomes very simple. Let me not look enjoyment other places than what Krishna is giving. And this impurity in my mind, which I want to become the proprietor, controller, this should be purified by spiritual practices. Chanting of the holy name of the Lord, when we do it with carefully, it will remove all these wrong tendencies and bring us to our original pure state of consciousness, where we can enjoy in real sense happiness. Susukam kartum avyam. If one understands that Krishna is the supreme proprietor, he is supreme controller, supreme enjoyer, and I am his servant. This is the whole training. And the outside world is going just opposite. They want to pump the false egos of each other. Let us come together and enjoy. Let us hold all the property with us. Everybody is working for that. If Alexander wanted to occupy the whole world, the Britisher wanted to occupy, the Muslims wanted to occupy, get whole property in their grip. And nowadays, all these corporate giants, they want to get the whole control on them. Same tendencies continue in different ways. And they will make all the policies and everything what suits to their grabbing all the control powers, money, everything in their grip. This AI, the same thing. So few people are going to utilize this AI to get all the powers with them. And then everybody wants this. I will also part of that. You're going for that. Some invention they do. Previously, Britishers, they invented electricity. Britishers, electricity was invented by whom? Britishers became powerful because of electricity. Professor was explaining this, he said. How they became powerful? Electricity. Because electricity invented, they created machines. The various kinds of machineries. Then they created guns and everything through that. Powerful. And then they got control over the world by their weapons. Earlier people were having swords, then they had guns. You move the sword, they kill you from the distance. Cannons. The Muslims became powerful by the cannon inventions. Britishers became powerful by these sophisticated weapons. Now you have AI weapon. Those who can grab these technologies, they will become powerful. But ultimately what happens, whether it's British Empire, Mughal empires or Alexander, whatever that, ultimately end. History repeats again. Nothing is going to make change in the lives of the people. People are only power hungry without transforming their hearts. They are simply going to exploit each other. The Britishers started to exploit all over the world, all the countries. And finally they were driven out. Now what is the situation of Britain? So nothing is new happening in the material world. It's all same thing repeats in a different way. So many people in India, those who were at that time intellectual, they joined Britishers. They made them more powerful. Right? Similarly, so many people are joining AI to make the people more powerful, those who want to actually gain the control. So there are people who are there going to for developing more things. Some people are getting the whole power in their hands. But in all situations, those who are actually practicing sincerely Krishna consciousness, they are not affected by all these things. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was here. He did not try to much change all these things. The Muslim rulers, Mahaprabhu just propagated Krishna consciousness. We don't find any much revolt against, Mahaprabhu is just spreading Krishna consciousness. Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, Bhaktivinoda Thakur didn't revolt much against Britishers also. They were just propagating Krishna consciousness. In British times, Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur had 64 mathas, big cities all over India. Then our mind should not be diverted with what is happening in this world in terms of non-Krishna conscious activities. People will always keep on playing with powers, try to make themselves more powerful with material things. But what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us is most powerful things. Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtan. If we develop faith in this power of the holy name, Prahlad Maharaj did not accumulate any powers, but he dethroned the whole Hiranyakashipu, who was more powerful than Indra, just by his simple bhakti. What power Prahlad had? Material powers. He was just a 5-year-old child, chanting, preaching Krishna consciousness. And when Hiranyakashipu was finished, his such powerful austerity and gaining such power more than Indra, controlling Indra and all the demigods. Prahlad had nothing in that terms, material. Srila Prabhupada, with what power he went to America? He had no money, 40 rupees. That also he gave it to his son. His son was telling that actually we hear that he took it, but his son was saying actually he gave me it when I was in Jalduta, dropping Srila Prabhupada at this Calcutta port. So just while boarding, before boarding, he gave me. So he was carrying no money, no manpower with him, no money, no influence, old man. And he could practically conquer the whole world. So many temples, so many devotees. Going into the country where they had their different religion, they are going and establishing Krishna consciousness pure. In America, here we are thinking, if this happens, how will you practice Krishna consciousness? Prabhupada went there and they transformed their lives. And he didn't change any kinds of external situation there. So Krishna consciousness is the most powerful thing. Holy name is the most powerful. So if we don't realize this power of love of God, then we look for the power in material world. The same quotation, you need powers in this world when you want to do something harmful, while the love is enough to get everything done. How Prabhupada got everything done? With love. Srila Prabhupada said once, why these people are coming and bowing down, Europeans, Americans? Prabhupada said, because I don't have lust in my heart. I love them because I love Krishna. So this is the power. Love is enough to get everything done, that love of God. We don't need anything. But if that we are not seeking for that purity of the heart, then we are looking for the powers in this world, money power, positions, and we get affected by this political propaganda. Sometimes devotees come and say, oh, you have to do something, you have to do something. You have to see what has done, what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did for it, what Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur did for it, what Bhaktivinoda Thakur did for it, what Prabhupada did for it. So we unnecessarily get disturbed by the situations. When you are focusing not on bhakti, we focus on all those things. Something can be done easily, is fine. But why we need to go into so much of those things and get disturbed? Rather, we focus on our own strength. Krishna consciousness is the greatest thing. Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to the capital of Navabhusensha. There he was chanting, dancing. Lakhs of people were following him. Isn't it? Lakhs of people. Srila Prabhupada went to America. There he chanting, dancing. They were asking, why you have come to here? We have our own religion. Some people were asking. Prabhupada said, I have come here to teach you, yet you are not following the religion properly. Prabhupada was so bold. We are the better Christians, he said. We follow Christians, Jesus properly. We follow whatever he has said. You are not following. Because he had compassion for those people. When he went into London, he was asked, why you come here? He said, you Britishers came to India, you took away so many things from India, but you forgot the most important thing to take. Krishna consciousness. I have come to here. I have not come to ask, beg anything here. I have come to give you Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada was not fascinated by anything of this world. He plainly spoke truth, Krishna consciousness. They asked him, so how do you see London? London is very famous, British capital, ruled all over the India. Prabhupada said, London is hell. And he was very simple in his logic. He said, there is no sun rising here. Dark place always times. So when one becomes a devotee, he is compassionate and he is bold, compassionate. And he doesn't have to think much about, the complexity of this material world when he is taking shelter of Krishna. He has taken shelter of Krishna. Bhakti is simple. Everything in bhakti is so simple. But it's very difficult to practice because we have made our mind so complicated. We are not simple. Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur said that simplicity is the first quality of Vaishnava. Saralta. Gao gao tumi gaurange raguna sarala karyaman. Saral karyaman. If you make a mind simple, too much mind becomes complicated thing about it. Then too much fruitive mentality is there, then things become so difficult to understand. And then bhakti becomes, how this bhakti will produce anything? Hare Krishna chanting karke kya hoga? Srila Prabhupada conquered the whole world by chanting Hare Krishna. He went to transform so many places, all the people all over the world, simply by chanting. You ask Prabhupada, many places, I just simply chanting, I did everything. Things will come if we have faith in it. What Srila Prabhupada has done, Bhaktivinoda Thakur has done, Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur has done. Otherwise, without bhakti, this material world is horrible, dangerous place, complicated place. And when we have fruitive mentality and take shelter of karmic vichar, then everything becomes more and more complex. And there is action, there is reaction, and whole, karmic cycle is very, very complex. Anadi karma phale pudi bhavar navajale tadibare na dekhi upay. And you try to counteract one reaction by another action that create more reactions. whole thing becomes very complicated. But Krishna is saying that if you take a shelter, give up this fruitive mentality, develop service attitude, I can free you immediately from all the karmic reactions of so many lifetimes. So if we just take such a wonderful message of Bhagavatam or Parampara, develop pure Krishna consciousness, all one's complexity, all troubles in life will go away. One Mataji asked in Australia a question, how long it will take Prabhupada our previous karmic reactions to get finished? Prabhupada said, don't you read Bhagavad Gita? 1 minute, Prabhupada said. In 1 minute, you can finish all your karmic reactions of your past, all the lives, if you take shelter of Krishna. Honestly. All the previous karmic reactions will be finished in one moment. You can see that video lecture. I in Mayapur, I was seeing it. Don't you read Bhagavad Gita? 1 minute, Prabhu said. And then the devotee becomes joyful. Everything becomes a wonderful experience at every moment. One who has really taken shelter of Krishna. Bhakti means this, sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Sarva dharman parityajya means all these different dharmas who are not talking about bhakti. And in Kali Yuga, they are completely godless. Occupations. These occupations, dharma also means occupation. Previously Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya. Nowadays occupation means work in the factories or do some business. That is also considered dharma. But that is very much based on the all westernized ideas, fruity mentality and different tactics to get the profit. But if we don't understand that the higher authorities are there, we are not the doers. We are not the enjoyers. Then we also get into rat race of this material world, complexities of this material world. And sometimes it may appear working if your karma is supporting for certain things and you use your intelligence and you work very hard and you get the results and you develop more faith in the material systems. And when it doesn't work, we get frustrated in our lives. This is what material world is. So many big corporates we see, at one particular time they were so successful, they are no more now. They collapsed. How? What went wrong in them? If they were doing everything so nice, why it collapsed? This happens in the material world like that. All these karmic reactions are so complex. Who is going to flourish and who is going to go down? It's very difficult to predict also. You see in the last few decades, so many big successful companies, they are no more finished. They are gone in oblivion, right? Airlines companies or other corporate companies, even software companies, they are no more. Their proprietors are also lost somewhere. Nobody knows about them. So if we depend on the ideas and arrangements of this material, it may work for some time, as long as one's karma is supporting for it. But it can go down at any time. That's why everybody is fearful also. But if you are Krishna conscious principles, first of all, Krishna conscious principle makes you detached from this world, naturally, less dependent on this world. You don't need much help of this material world to be happy in your life. That's what the whole system is. Vedic system is become less dependent. Simple living means what? Become less dependent. Then you are more free. You are not affected by when the whole world goes, completely changes. Now this gas cylinder problems. So many people are affected in the cities. But those are villagers who are using wood. They don't have any idea about that gas cylinder problem. Somebody was saying in Kharagpur, there are some community, they use just wood. And if you ask them any problem, no problem, going on. So if we make our lives complex, Prabhupada said lifespan in Kali Yuga is reducing because of the over dependency on others' mercy. One of the this is first canto of Bhagavatam. So much we are dependent on this complex system what they have made. That one war happening somewhere and here we are getting affected. That we don't have gas cylinders. You can see how much complex we have made our lives. And like that it can affect any time something goes wrong and our life will be affected. That's how we have made ourselves dependent on those things. That's why Kali Yuga will find people suffer. In spite of having all this technological advancement and everything, something goes wrong and everybody is affected by that. Because systems are made very complex in the name of giving facilities. But actually, if you see the inner intentions of most of the people want all these things so that they can get the whole maximum profit in their pockets. And that's why they have made things complex. It will become complex. More people have selfish mentality, fruitive mentality. They make the things complex. In Vedic culture, they would make things simple. Simple means whatever God has already made arrangements, you depend on that. They will make things complex because they want to earn more profit for themselves. Following God's system also will give profit. It's not that they will not give profit. But greedy people want to get everything in their own things. That's why they make things complex. And it appears that life will become simple by their propaganda. Their mobiles. How we can communicate very fast with each other. But they actually wanted to get money. All these mobile companies, their intention is not to facilitate people. Their intention is to get money for themselves. And what is the result of this? People have become so much dependent on it. And they're getting so much disturbed also because of this. They have lost privacy. So many complications of the relationship problem because of use of these mobiles. People would come together previously, talk to each other, sit, take food together, spend time for each other. But people are becoming lonely now. Everybody absorbs these small machines. Even they are sitting together and everybody is watching their mobiles. And then they don't talk in the family members for days together. Coming together, everybody coming, but because they are absorbed so much into this other world. So more, if we keep our life dependent on Krishna's system, what Krishna has made, don't try to complicate the things unnecessarily. Simple living and high thinking. Then you can experience more freedom in life. Otherwise, it looks that I am surrounded by gadgets, I am surrounded this, but mind has become so complex because happiness and peace is missing, and there is a fear, insecurity, and so many other things are going in the heart. That's what this life of the modern man is. If you go and introspect their lives inside, they may be successful, they may have a lot of money, they have facilities around them, but their inner things are so complex. Mind is so complex. And the root cause is this fruitive mentality, enjoying mentality, proprietorship mentality, controlling mentality. But to transform into loving service to Krishna, if Krishna gives me something, okay, I can utilize. As Bhaktichara Swami Maharaj telling that once he was with Radhanath Swami Maharaj, they were just discussing and talking to each other. And then Maharaj was speaking that actually when I joined this Srila Prabhupada's mission, I was so happy that just to cut grass or just to milk the cows. I just wanted to do those things. I never wanted to be take any post positions. I was happily doing Krishna consciousness. Somehow or the due course of time, Krishna has put me into this situation as GBC Guru. So Bhaktichara Maharaj was telling that when I heard this answer, I told Maharaj that, Maharaj, we want leaders like you. Who don't want to become leaders? Our society needs this. Those who are power hungry, want to become leaders, are going to do harm to others. Unless they really become humble and just want to serve. If we want to serve, Krishna will put us in a particular positions if needed. And then with this consciousness you can serve properly as a leader also. But if one is hankering for those things without service attitude, without devotional service to Krishna, then we'll misuse the powers, which will be harmful for ourselves also and for others also, sure. So we have to see whether I feel the need of power, introspect our hearts, or I want to be more Krishna conscious. And whatever Krishna gives by natural arrangements, I should be happy with those things. Somebody needs to be a leader, somebody needs to be a king. Why everybody should hanker? In that society, nobody can be happy where people are hungry, power hungry, so elections and everything, see, cutthroat competitions. This is a material world. But in a Vaishnava society, nobody is hungry, supposed to be hungry like that. Everybody is in mood of service. When Nanda Maharaj and all these Brajavasis were there, they were discussing now who will be the king? Next king. And then this Upananda or something, the elder brother of Nanda Maharaj, he was supposed to be the king by the natural arrangements. He said, actually, Nanda is better than me, he said. Because everyone loves him and he has good qualities. Let him become the king. And he was so heartily speaking without any insecurity. And others Brajavasis also that, because he was naturally, everybody loved him, respected him, Nanda Maharaj. He didn't want to become king. But because he was requested by his elder brother, he became a king. Somebody has to be a king. But in this material world, everybody wants to be king. That is the problem. Why they want to become king? To enjoy, to control, not to serve. That's the whole problem. In Vaikuntha, there is also organization, but the mood is this, to serve, render service. So even if somebody is king, he is in mood of service, not exploitation, not being selfish enjoyer. So in this world, whether is top, as is here, Indra or whatever, if they are not devotees, that same consciousness continues. Or if they are mixed devotees, demigods are the people who are devotees but they want powers. Because not all demigods are like that. They are devotees. They also need some powers. And okay, if somebody needs power, But if he just follows the Krishna and develop that mode of service, and slowly that hankering is supposed to go by service. But you can see sometimes Indra, he forgets that. And he tries to enjoy his powers, end up in troubles, offending Brahaspati just before this episode. Right? Nahusha offending so many when he was in power. So the more one powerful, there is more chance of causing troubles to more people. If we are not in a proper service mode. Bigger our powers, come on, more you can damage to people. More harm one can do. So we should be very careful. Developing this mood of service, one should be joyful in practicing Krishna consciousness. And if Krishna wants me to serve in a particular way, then we accept out of service attitude. Yes, we can serve like this. Okay. Any questions, comments?
Prabhu, in this case, Indra killed Vishwarupa. Indra was a king. So he was thinking that he is doing cheating and not. So he killed him. But here mentioned that because he was kind of insecure for his post and position, that's why he killed him. If let's say he was not in such situation that he was envious or he was hankering for the post, but as a king, what would be his duty in that situation? Because sometimes we find in life also that somebody has some position to do certain things, but the person whom we want to do that is also an elevated kind of thing, and in that situation, how to deal?
Just like judge. If judge is giving judgment, judge has to be completely neutral. He should not have any kinds of selfish motivations. So whether Indra did right or wrong, that's another thing. But if somebody is doing a right thing also with wrong intentions, selfish intentions, then that person got reaction, but you also get reaction. If judge is having some partiality and he gives the judgment, then he is also entangled in that. So when you are put in the position as a king, one has to completely see from a very neutral point of view. And if I have any selfish motivations, even if I am doing right things, that selfish motivations make the things actually polluted. Right thing, I am saying that apparently right thing externally. Same thing, that if a person has committed a murder and if somebody goes and kills him, what will happen to him? Will the police or the law system will say, oh, you did good thing? No, you are not supposed to do it unless you are completely neutral about it and you are authorized for it. So even if one is authorized and if he is not neutral, still he will get reaction. What to speak of, he is not authorized at all. The judge is authorized by the government, but if they find the judge had his ulterior motives while giving decisions, he took some bribe or he had some enmity towards the other party, and the judge also will get reaction for it. So that's why what is one driven by, that is what counts the karma. It's not just the action, one's intentions or one's consciousness at that time. It's a greed or envy or lust or pride and anger. Sometimes in this world people may not be able to detect that. And that's what most of the court cases people prove, that they are not criminals. They are not. It goes based on only evidences. But even if there are no evidences, their higher authorities always have evidences with them. And more than evidences is the Paramatma sitting in the heart. He knows what is the intentions of a person, why he is doing those things. So therefore the higher laws never fail in their action. Karmic. Karma is very subtle. It will act. Nobody can escape. Law of karma is an infallible justice law. Nobody can cheat it. Krishna has made. But ultimately the karma law is also to rectify. That's the reason Krishna has made it, to rectify ultimately. And of course to create peace and order in this world. That people don't harm each other unnecessarily. But the real purpose is to rectify. So this karma keeps on accumulating in our lives for so many lifetimes, one action, another action. And everything can be dismantled by purifying our heart, by taking bhakti. Otherwise, maintaining this material consciousness, then the dealing with this material world, padam padam yad vipadam natesha. Those who are fruitive mentality people, karmakanda people, their life is always filled with anxieties and so many complexities. Even if one is posted as Indra, I can see one after another complexity in life. And there is a fear, there is insecurity always. Something goes here and there. Sometimes they may enjoy, but anytime danger can come in their lives. But those who have purified consciousness, they are always peaceful. Sakale ashant Krishna bhakta nishkam ek ateva shant. Krishna bhakta nishkam ateva shant. Mukti mukti siddhi kame sakale ashant. So even if one is put in a position and one has to do the things, but if he is doing with the improper motivations, then one will be considered as responsible for that action. Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai. Grantara Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai.